more. Uh, Jack has been with us with the credit union at the business development team for about 13 years and says that his favorite part of his job is helping people discover ways to improve their financial welfare. A few fun facts about Jack. He has visited 48 states in the Union. He only, I think, has 2 left, as well as the Virgin Islands, and is a self-professed guru of DFW sports. He's a fanatic. So, Jack, the floor is yours. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Butel. And for those of you that are curious, the 2 states I have yet to go to are Hawaii and North Dakota. So hopefully I'll be able to knock those out in order. I want to thank you again for taking the time to join us. I know Butel shared some of our PSAs at the beginning and house rules. Just want to reiterate, if you want a copy of today's presentation, indicate that on the survey. We aren't able to process that through the Q&A or anything like that. So the time for you to request a copy of today's presentation will be following today's webinar. If you're looking forward to the webinar, first time getting to know your credit union, you're in the right place. We understand that a number of you are already members, so we really wanted to create a presentation about all the ways that you can truly benefit from your relationship with the credit union. For those of you that are not yet members, this is for you too. You can get to know what kind of product services and complementary services we offer, and hopefully that'll be enough to push you over the edge and join. So the agenda today, we'll start with a little bit about us, our history, who we serve, as well as some convenience options in the form of online banking and borrowing services. We'll also talk about some financial wellness solutions, again, some of those complementary value-added services that we provide. And then we'll wrap things up with an overall picture of the member benefits. So before we really jump into the meat and potatoes of today's presentation, I'm going to throw it to Butel to lead us in our first poll question.
That's right. So hopefully everyone will join and participate. Are you a credit union member or are you a bank customer? There's no true wrong answer on this. So A, banking customer, B, credit union member, C, both, D, neither. So Jack, I would say I'm going to go with C. What do you think is going to be the most popular answer on this one?
I'm going to hope that nobody has neither. I'll rule that one out. Hopefully they're not hiding their cash underneath their mattresses. For me, I'm both, to be completely candid. So I'm thinking that a lot of people may be both as well. What about you?
I'm honestly a credit union member owner, so I want to go with credit union member owner itself. So let's see what we got here. Okay, the poll has closed. All the participants that were going to partake have done so. Thank you again. And Jack, it shows that there is a majority, over 40%, that are both. Then you have over 35% that are credit union member owners. And believe it or not, there's a few people that may believe that the mattress is the best place to keep your cash or documents itself. No, joke aside, those that don't have an account, they should look into finding a financial institution that can help them with their financial wellness. And we're here for that. So Jack, back to you, and thank you so much.
Thanks, Butel, and thanks for everyone that jumped in on that poll. It really gives us a pulse of the room, and we can kind of speak to a few things. So sounds like no one's strictly a banking customer, which is great. But on the other side of things, neither. So hopefully throughout today's presentation, we give you some ideas to consider about why you might want to partner with a financial institution like American Airlines Credit Union. So kicking things off here, first section we'll cover today is a little bit about us. And I want to explain to you who we are. What makes a credit union different? So credit unions, unlike banks, are full-service financial institutions that are not for profit. So whereas a bank has stockholders, board of directors, et cetera, that are trying to get as much out of their customers as possible so they can make a profit, credit unions are not for profit. So instead of taking those quote unquote profits and giving them to their investors, in a credit union, We are the investors essentially. So what that means is we're able to return that value in the form of reduced fees, higher dividend rates on your savings products, and much lower loan rates than you might find at a for-profit institution. Another thing that sets us apart from banks is that we're an exclusive benefit for aviation industry employees and their family members. We'll go over the who's eligible here in a moment. And then, like I said, we're member owned. So when you have a basic share savings account with a credit union, you're actually a part owner of that financial institution. And we don't have to worry about outside stockholders or anybody like that to influence our decisions. We can always do what's best for our member owners. And the final point that I'd like to highlight here is that once you're a member of American Airlines Credit Union, you're always a member. So make sure you keep that account active. Make sure that you don't close it out if you leave the air industry because you may not be able to get back in. So speaking of that, we'll cover who's eligible here in just a moment. I always like to read our vision verbatim. This is our guiding principle that all of our employees abide by. And that's for every member owner of American Airlines Federal Credit Union to realize his or her life and financial welfare are enriched as a result of their credit union participation. What does this mean to you? This means that anybody you interact with at American Airlines Credit Union, their goal is to be your advocate. We are not commission-based. We never put profit ahead of your needs. And what that allows us to do is to really match up your financial needs with the products and services that we offer. So just know that none of our employees are commission-based and that we're always going to do right by our members and hopefully enrich their financial lives as a result of their participation. So speaking of, as I mentioned earlier, who we serve. Obviously, with a name like American Airlines Federal Credit Union, we serve employees and retirees of American Airlines and its subsidiaries. So companies like Piedmont, PSA Airlines, Envoy, those are all eligible as well. We also serve anybody in the air transportation industry. Examples of these folks would be TSA agents, airport janitorial staff, airport employees. Basically, anybody that's in and around airports is eligible to join, with the exception of restaurants, hotels, folks like that. Now, when you become a member, you're also eligible to sponsor your family members. So we're talking about grandparents, parents, brothers, sisters, domestic partners, kids, grandkids. They are all eligible as a result of your credit union membership. So speaking of domestic partners or spouses or anybody like that, that also extends to roommates. I like to joke about the fact that I had a couple roommates that joined the credit union as a result of living with me, and we've since parted ways. And they joke the fact that the best thing about living with me is their credit union membership. So keep that in mind whenever you're enjoying your benefits, that you can share that with others. And I know Butel's going to speak to that a little bit more at the end of our presentation. Want to talk a little bit about our presence. In other words, how can you service your accounts? How can you interact with us? It's all too often that we hear a rebuttal from folks about why they won't participate or really use a credit union. And it's, oh, well, there's not a branch near me. And that couldn't be further from the truth. As you can see on the map here, we have we currently have 46 plus branches across all major airports and hubs that American Airlines services. A lot of people that join us on these webinars are in DFW, and we currently show 14 branches in the DFW airport alone. Now, we also understand that there may be members out there or potential members who don't live near brick and mortar that says American Airlines Credit Union on the top of the building. And that's why we've partnered with the Shared Branch Network. What that does is it gives you access to over 5,000 locations of other credit unions who are in our network. So you can go into those branches with your account number and your photo ID, and you can make deposits, withdrawals, and load payments as if you were in one of our branches. As if that wasn't enough, that same network gives you and us, for that matter, access to nearly 30,000 free ATMs. So just a couple examples of where we have free ATMs. Other credit unions, ATMs, are oftentimes in our network. 7-Elevens, coast to coast, with the exception of Oklahoma, are always free. And then, for example, down in Florida, Publix grocery stores and other partnerships allow you to access your cash free of charge. The easiest way for you to find out where there's a branch location or a free to ATM near you is through our app. You can click locations, or you can visit our website at aacreditunion.org/locations to find out the most convenient options near you. All right. So, a lot of people, again, this is first time of becoming a member and getting to know us a little bit. And one of the things that we always get is, how do I set up my online banking? And we live in a digital age, and, very travel friendly credit union like us wants to make sure that you have the banking at your fingertips, right here on that cell phone, or through a PC when you're at work or anything like that. So here's a really quick overview of our mobile and online banking services, and then we'll show you how you can set that up if you haven't already. So the features of our mobile and online banking service include, obviously, online statements, bill pay, you can check your balances, and you can also set up recurring transfer of funds between accounts or loans or anything like that. Now, when it comes to our mobile app, we do have the ability to download the American Airlines Credit Union mobile app on iPhone and Android, and it has the same capabilities that you would find whenever you're accessing your account via a personal computer. It does have the added benefit of being able to make mobile check deposits. So if you're flying from New York to San Francisco and you don't have time to drop by a branch and make that check deposit, you can definitely take a picture and sign it on the back. It'll have specific instructions on what you need to do and make those deposits while you're on the fly. We also have the ability to do person-to-person payments through Pop Money. That allows you to designate anyone in or out of the credit union to make those transfers. I want to point out that we are able to utilize Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, etc. to make person-to-person payments. Those are third parties. All you would need to do is set up your credit union account with those services and make those payments. Unfortunately, right now, we do not have the ability to transfer monies through Zelle. We are considering that in the future. But as far as that instant transfer to be able to transfer between person to person on Zelle, don't have that yet. Hoping to maybe that'll change. But for me, Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, I have them all. They definitely meet my needs. All right. So speaking of that mobile app, I do want to just highlight here, you can scan these QR codes if you don't already have the app, or you can do a search within the Google Play Store or the Apple Store for American Airlines Credit Union, and it should come up with an icon with the flight symbol, and it's got a blue and white icon that lets you know you're in the right place. For those of you that don't have their phones handy right now, or by the time we switch, you didn't get your camera open, you can request a copy of today's presentation and download that app at your own leisure. As we mentioned before, access your accounts, deposit checks, basically do anything you would expect from a big bank, except we like to say we do it a little bit better. Now, speaking about setting up your online account or online access, here's just a real quick overview of how you might be able to do that step by step. First, it's easier if you go through a PC. That's just been my experience. You can do this through the app. You can do this on a mobile website. But for me, it all looks nice and neat. It's a little bit easier whenever you're sitting down and taking the time to do it. Before you even start setting up your online banking access, you're going to need your member number. That should be your basic share savings account number. So if you don't know that, or if you need help with that, contact your local branch or our 1-800 number, and they can give that to you. Hopefully, you know your social security number. You will need that. And then you're going to need your last name and the zip code in which you signed up with. From there, you're going to go to aacreditunion.org, and you're going to be presented with a blue icon in the upper right-hand corner of your screen that says Log In. Go ahead and click that. And then, as is highlighted in this screenshot, you're going to click the link that says Enroll in Online Banking. It's going to start the process. And like I said, you're going to enter in that information that you came prepared with. at which point follow the on-screen prompts and you can set up your online banking, which again gives you access through a PC, a tablet, a mobile website, or the app itself. To learn a little bit more about that, you can visit aacreditunion.org/banking/mobile online services, or request a copy of today's deck after we finalize this presentation and refer to this later. One other thing that we've recently launched is a very interactive chat platform. So if you have easy questions, what's a routing number? How can I find information about a specific product or service? You don't even need to be logged into your online account. You can just go to aacreditunion.org. In the bottom right-hand corner, there should be a little tab or a little pop-up that says Chat with Us, and click that, and you can interact with one of our member service representatives. Keep in mind that we're not a 24-hour operation, and that chat is open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Saturday. Also keep in mind they traditionally are not able to make transactions on your behalf through the chat, but they can let you know the channels in which you can self-service your account, where you can find a specific branch, things like that. But again, it's a new feature. It's been very warmly received, and our dedicated team of member service representatives that monitor that do a fantastic job. And I know that we probably have some questions out there. I don't see any Butel. When I say questions out there, I mean, there's probably some people that are thinking. We will stop here after this next section. So if anything that we've talked about, go ahead and queue them up. That way, here in about 5 slides, we can start knocking some of those down. So that was a little bit about, online banking, about who we are, things like that. But now we want to talk about some of our banking services. Before we get into that, Butel, I think we have a poll ready, right?
That's correct, Jack. Thank you for that information. And yeah, there's questions popping up through private boxes instead of all panelists, but we'll work that in as well. Great. So those at the webinar, according to bankrate.com, what is the average savings account rate, APY, or annual percent yield in America? Is it A, 0.01%, B, 0.11%, C, 0.30%, or D, 1%? We know that in the market, things have been changing. We hear about the Fed pushing numbers up and down and making changes to make things better for everybody in the United States and worldwide, really, when it comes to all those federal changes. Jack, I'm going to guess, and I'm going to go with C, 30. What about you?
I know the answer, so I can't guess, right?
No, we know the answer. It's a matter of just making sure that we're participating as well and making sure.
Yeah. Well, let's see what everybody thought, Butel.
All right, so we got the majority again participating. Thank you again. And there's a little tie between 0.01 and 0.11. And then we follow by the choice that I said, 0.30, also tied with the 1%. So as a subject matter expert, Jack, will you please tell us the answer?
Yes. The answer, as of this last week, it could have changed today. I didn't check this morning, but the average savings account rate in America right now is B, 0.11% APY. So that's pretty low, especially considering, historical numbers as far as savings go, things like that. So it is pretty low. I always ask this question in presentations like this to highlight the fact that the credit union typically pays 5 to 6 times the national average on our savings product. That's just one of the ways that a not-for-profit institution like us can help return value to our members. So Butel, I think you looked it up the other day, a couple days ago. Do you remember what we're at as far as our APY goes on our basic share savings account?
Yes, Jack, and just to have it fresh out of the press, I just pulled it up in our website that anybody can go and visit aacreditunion.org. At this time, we're paying 0.60. Like you said, the 5 to 6 times more than the average. So better than a lot of other places. So if members or those watching check their savings account, see what they're earning, hey, we could be the first time that they can take advantage of us. To
Absolutely.
you, Jack,
Absolutely. What's that?
back to you.
All right, thank you. And I'll check in with you here in a little bit with some questions. We'll pause here in a few slides after we go some of our banking options. So I do want to go back to the word banking. That is a loosely utilized term in the financial industry. It's the B word. It's kind of a bad word in credit union land, but it's the most commonplace term to describe transactionary accounts. So that's what we're going to go over in this section. So the first one I want to highlight, as we've kind of talked about already, is our savings account. Everyone at American Airlines Credit Union, if you're a member on the call today, you have at minimum a basic share savings account. Look at that, for lack of a better term, as your master account. This gives you the option and the ability to apply for any of our other products and services. So speaking of other products and services, we do offer other savings products such as emergency fund savings accounts, which are essentially a sub-savings account with a purpose. We offer share certificates, which are also called CDs in bank land. So certificates of deposit are what banks call them. We call them share certificates. And for those of you that don't know, this allows you to put up a chunk of money, a set amount, and you basically commit to keeping that money in there for a certain amount of time. And in doing that, we pay you a higher return. Those rates can be found online as well. If you go to our website, click in the right-hand corner, rates, you can take a look at what we're paying our share certificates. We also have a Dream Plan share certificate. This is a very unique product where you can open it up with as little as $25. And as long as you commit to making a $25 contribution to your Dream Plan every month for the next 5 years, you earn a premium dividend on that. The cool thing about that is that if you get a bonus, a tax return, or some kind of financial windfall, you can actually contribute more than $25 into that share certificate. So it's considered an open share certificate. Up to $50,000 is what you can put in there. So really good way for you to save for the future, for your children, for the purchase of a house, or any other big needs that you know are further down the road. In addition to those savings products, we also offer IRAs, or individual retirement accounts, and Coverdell 529 plans. So that's a really good way to save for college expenses, educational expenses, things of that nature. We obviously have other products outside of this, but just wanted to highlight some of the options of how we help you accomplish your goals, whether it be saving for a specific purpose, emergency fund savings, or anything along those lines. So the other banking product that I want to highlight is our checking accounts. And we'll go into a little bit more detail about our different solutions when it comes to checking. But by and large, our checking options all offer some kind of free checking services, including direct deposit, online banking with bill pay. As I alluded to earlier, they are accessible through the mobile app, and you can make mobile deposits with your checking account. And then one thing that we recently launched is debit cards, both with contactless pay. So if you're at a point of sale system that has the indication that you can just wave your debit or credit card over it, we offer that on all of our new debit cards. And they also have the chip-enabled technology. So both of these features allow you to encrypt your transactions and make your checking accounts that much more secure. So our checking options, as is highlighted here on the screen, are Ascend, Priority, Flagship, and U checking. So I want to kind of talk about the high-level differences between those accounts. Most people today, Butel, not if you agree, pick the Priority checking account. All right, got thumbs up there with Butel. This is kind of your everyday checking with benefits. It has no monthly service fees. It is actually dividend bearing, so you can earn interest on any funds in those checking accounts. It offers overdraft protection, has some very unique product benefits, such as ATM refunds for those ATMs outside of our 30,000 plus free ATMs, and offers foreign transaction fee rebates. So to get the most out of this priority checking account, you're going to want to do three things. You're going to want to have 15 debit card transactions per month. You're going to want to sign up for online statements, and you're going to want to have a direct deposit of at least $250 or more per month. Now, if you can't adhere to those qualifications, it's still free and it still pays 0.05%. But you do have to make a transaction once every 3 months. So again, our priority checking has a number of great features. You can learn more about that through aacreditunion.org/banking/checking. Our Ascend checking, for lack of a better term, is our checking simplified. It's really great for those that may have had a little bit of bruised checking history with a previous financial institution, and it is free so long as you have direct deposit of $250 or more coming in each month. It does have a foreign transaction fee of 1%, doesn't necessarily have overdraft protection, doesn't have any kind of bells and whistles to it. It's a really, really good product for those that are wanting to just have super simple checking and may not qualify for the priority checking. I'll go through these real quick because I know time's of the essence. Our flagship checking is our premium checking. If you're one of those that wants to maintain a balance of $750 more every day, not an average daily balance, but a minimum daily balance of $750 per day, it has some unique features as well. Offers 0.25% dividend, which is pretty great out there for a checking product. And it does have some unique product benefits and no foreign transaction fee. Last but not least, for the youngsters in the room or for those that have kiddos and are interested in opening up a checking account for them, we have a fantastic U checking product geared for those ages 13 through 25. It does have some unique features, including $15 of ATM rebates for ATM usage outside of our network. For any of these, the best advice I can give is if you want to go through what makes the most sense for you, be sure to indicate that on the survey, and we'll make sure that we address that here in the coming days. Also, Butel, I know you're not going to talk about it in detail later on, but we do have a fantastic checking promotion going on until the end of September, where if you sign up for any of these checking products and you spend $25 in the first 60 days, we'll give you $25. So if you were on the fence on utilizing one of these, hopefully that pushes you over the edge. Last but not least, before we jump into some Q&A, we want to highlight the fact that we have small business banking solutions. And we know that not everybody has a business, so we won't go into too much detail, but do want to highlight the fact that we offer share savings and checking solutions for businesses. You can qualify for vehicle and equipment loans, credit cards, and even real estate loans. We offer monthly webinars, or typically monthly webinars, about small business. So I encourage you, if you're interested in learning more about those solutions, that you sign up for one of those upcoming webinars. So I need a little break. Butel, I'm going to turn it over to you for some questions. So while you're teeing those up, I'm going to grab a swig of water.
No problem, Jack. Thank you so much. Shout out to those coming from Salt Lake City, Utah. I know it's earlier over there. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully you're joining us from home, not from work. But if you're from work, we really appreciate that you're taking the time. Anyways, Jack, yes, we have a couple questions. Are there any other ways for individuals to get cash back besides their ATM itself?
Yeah, absolutely. So at any or most point of sales, whenever you use your debit card, it gives you a cashback feature. I know 7-Eleven might have limitations, 10, 20 bucks, that sort of thing, but it's a way for you to get cash out of your account without incurring any kind of an ATM charge. Like Butel said, most 7-Elevens, all 7-Elevens, with the exception of Oklahoma, you can get your cash out. And then our shared branch network. If there's a credit union nearby that participates in that, a lot of times they offer cash over the counter. So that's another way for you to utilize your checking account and get cash out without incurring any kind of fees. Did I cover them all, or do you have any other suggestions, Butel?
No, you did great. What this follows up with, we being in the air transportation industry, that we service all airlines as well. Do we do any international share branching, or do we have access to ATMs internationally?
So there may be the best option for you is to check our locations. I think that there's a few fee-free ATMs internationally. Personally, I was just in Canada and I utilized an ATM there that charged me a small transaction fee. But at the end of the month, I was refunded that on my priority checking account. So I never like to go through the foreign exchange counters that charge you some 10% to get cash. I just use the ATMs, and whatever they charge, know that there's a really good chance that I'm going to get that back at the end of the month, so long as I meet those criteria to get that refund.
Yeah, one of the benefits of the priority checking, right?
Yes.
All right. Maybe we can do two more as just for sake of time, and then we'll continue.
Sure.
Are there any fees for the online services?
No.
Very good.
Short and sweet, right?
Exactly. The question is, there are two savings account products out there. Is there a difference on them? And when we look at the rate schedule, we see a primary shares, the secondary, or the emergency fund. So are there any differences between those itself, since you already covered the differences between our checking products?
Uh, um, the short answer is no, not really. Correct me if I'm wrong, Butel, but they pay the same APY, right?
That is correct, yes.
Yeah. So I don't have it in front of me. I know you double check me, my fact guru. That's a great question. So I want to go back to the emergency savings plan or the emergency share account. Basically, what we do is we set it up as a sub savings account. And this goes for any of our members. If you have a specific purpose you're trying to save for, you can have a dozen different savings accounts, all with a different purpose. And when you go online, you can actually name those accounts different things. What we found is that whenever people are saving for a purpose, they have a purpose behind that money, they're much less likely to touch that money for things that are outside of that goal. So that rings true for your emergency savings account. You're much less likely to transfer those funds to go on a vacation or anything like that if you name it accordingly. And then one other quick feature that I want to plug when it comes to our online banking, and I do this, is you can actually go online and hide those accounts from your typical view. So whenever I log in to my online banking, I have 3 different kind of emergency savings accounts, and I hide them all from view. You can always, bring them back up so you can monitor them. But for me, that limits my temptation of trying to take from one pot and move it to another. But to answer the question a little bit more succinctly, no, there is no major difference between our primary share savings and our emergency savings, or any sub savings for that matter. They should all earn the same basic share savings rate of 0.60 APY at this time.
Correct. Jack, I want to throw one more in because this one is pretty interesting, and I know these are some needs that some of our members have. Are there any trend? There are many trends of options of banks or credit unions receiving funds early from their employer. Is the credit union crediting those accounts earlier than the date itself?
Yes. Typical day is Friday, right? Payday. We recently this year, what was it? 3 months ago, you tell?
About average, yeah.
Something like that. Started as long as it's, we get the file from your employer that the money's coming in and it is coming from an employer. They post that by Wednesday evening, typically. Especially, I know I can attest for those receiving paychecks from American Airlines or any of subsidiaries. Those don't post on Friday. They post typically Wednesday evening, which can be nice. That way you can use those funds, pay things off sooner, that sort of thing. Just make sure that if you're setting up any kind of auto draft for loans, cars, etc., maybe utility bills, that you don't spend that money before Friday. Because I know a lot of organizations and loans will set up that payment date in line with your typical payday, and you never want to miss a payment or anything like that to negatively affect your credit. But yeah, that's a great question. Appreciate you giving us the opportunity to highlight that we do deposit those funds as soon as possible.
Correct. Okay, because of sake of time, Jack, we'll kick it back to you, and then we'll continue with these other questions that we have over here. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So let's fly through. I might be a little bit behind as far as our cadence. We want to talk about lending. So before we get into the details of that, Butel, I'm going to throw it back over to you for our next poll question to get a pulse of the room.
All right, really quick. And you can choose more than one answer on this one itself. Which of the following products do you currently have with a bank or a credit union? A, credit cards, B, auto loan, C, personal loan, D, mortgage or home equity, E, student loan, or F, you're debt free. Congratulations. You did your homework, you did your financial studies on it, and you knew what to do. And hopefully you are at a resort watching us. So let's see, Jack, how this goes. I honestly have uno, dos,
I got three.
like three at least. Yeah,
At
three,
least
three.
three. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. We got people still answering. That's great. They're participating. And here's a good opportunity to let us be the first once again to verify
Yeah.
any of these rates for you guys. You know, doesn't cost anything, and if we can lower it for you, the better. Okay, the poll just closed, Jack. So the majority are showing that they have a credit card, a auto loan, and a personal and a mortgage, of course,
Yep.
itself. So that's what majority of all of us, I believe, have the same. But there's some people out there that are also popping up with "I'm debt free," which is great. I mean,
Awesome.
but there's others that they have the student loans, and we have products for that as well, right, Jack? And we'll
Yes,
probably
sir.
cover a little bit because of sake of time. But back to you.
All right. So for those of you that said I'm debt free, kudos to you. Well done. Keep in mind that even though this might not apply to you as far as any loan products you might need, there may be others in your family or in your small circle of air transportation employees who could benefit from it. Not only that, but if you're debt free and you have equity in any of the aforementioned products, keep that in mind that we may be able to do like a cash out refinance or something like that. So I'm going to start with credit cards. Phenomenal product. Butel's going to talk about a little bit about some of our promotions with our credit cards at the very end, time allowing. We have four different kinds. A rewards credit card that allows you to earn connection points or points towards travel, gift certificates, things like that. We have a low rate card. This has no points or anything associated with it, but gives our lowest possible rate out there. We have a starter credit card for somebody that has no credit or very, very limited credit. We can set you up with a lower spending limit and get you started and start reporting that positive credit history to the bureau so you can borrow in the future. And then for those of you that may have a little bit of bruised credit or had some troubles in the past, we may be able to offer you a secured credit card. The way that works is, let's say you wanted a spending limit of $1,000. You put $1,000 into an account and you're essentially borrowing against yourself. What that does is it allows us to report to the credit bureaus that you're making a positive payment and you have a positive line of credit while you earn interest on the money that you set aside. So again, it's a really good way to kind of hit restart or to improve your credit situation. A couple quick things I want to talk about in regards to our credit cards. None of them have any annual fee. None of them have an annual transfer, or excuse me, none of them have a transfer of balance fee. So if you've got some high rate credit cards out there and you're looking for a lower rate, maybe this is your first time looking into our credit card product and you want to save some money, please do that. Butel is going to talk about our low rate credit card later on, which has a introductory 0% APR offer. So auto loans. We have auto loans currently as low as 1.9%. We do loans for autos as well as RVs. I'm going to highlight this. Plane loans. So any of our pilots out there or anybody that's family members that are flying their own personal aircraft, talk to us. We love doing those. In regards to all of our auto and vehicle and plane loan options, we do purchases and refis. So maybe you walked into the dealership and they were doing some kind of a promotion where you got a cash back offer if you finance with them. Come talk to us. We'd love to take a look at if you got the best rate or not and refinance that. Super easy for us to do. And we can also do cash out refis on your vehicles and all of your autos, things like that. which may allow you to pay down high interest debt, may allow you to extend out your terms, all kinds of options. Encourage you to indicate on your survey if you'd like to talk in more detail about this. And real quick, we do offer gap insurance, which is the amount that you owe versus the amount that your vehicle is worth. We offer guaranteed asset protection on that, so that if you got into a total loss on your vehicle, the amount of your loan may be more than what it's worth, and that gap insurance fills that gap. We have extended vehicle warranties available. That's extremely affordable, oftentimes a third, if not half, of what the dealerships can offer, and allows you to service wherever you like if anything breaks in your car. And then we offer credit life and credit disability on most of our loan products. We also do some consumer lending. I won't read them all aloud because you can see them there. But if you have student loans and you want to consolidate those, talk to us. If you need just a personal loan to get you by for a couple months, talk to us. If you have some kind of, emergency, talk to us. Most of our loan officers can find a solution that meets your needs, and they'll really, seek to be that advocate we talked about earlier and pair you with a product or service that fits. Keep in mind when it comes to our lending, if our loan officer says no, we can't do this right now, ask them, what can I do? They are trained to make sure that they were looking out for your best financial wellness solutions, and they can help you create a plan that can get you into a position where you can borrow in the future. We'll talk about that here in a moment as well. And then last but not least, when it comes to our lending products, our home loans are some of the most competitive out there. We do mortgages on your primary. We do jumbo. We do conventional. We do investment properties. We do vacation homes. One of the great things about our mortgages and our home loans is our pre-approvals mean something and do not require an application fee. So we get as much information up front so that when it comes time for you to make an offer and eventually close, there's very little that's going to prevent you from closing on those. The other great thing about our home loans is that we do not sell them. We service all of our loans in-house, which allows us to give you that personal service, and you don't have to chase down, okay, who's my lender today? Who's servicing my loan today? And it also gives us the opportunity to work with you for loan modifications, rate modifications, things like that, that definitely prevent or add value to your relationship with the credit union. The last thing I'll highlight with our home loans, as far as the benefits go, is let's say you have a home loan and you've been paying interest into that or on that mortgage. At the end of the year, if we make a profit, you may be eligible for a bonus dividend. While we can't guarantee it, those bonus dividends are typically calculated on any interest earned with the credit union or paid into the credit union. So look at it like a rebate, and if you have a mortgage with us, you stand to get a lot more back at the end of the year. As far as our home loans go, we also love doing refinances, and we can do that, both mortgages and refis, through fixed rates and adjustable rates. So suffice it to say, we have a number of different products and services that can meet your needs in the mortgage realm, including, last but not least, I promise on this slide, home equity lines of credit allow you to borrow against the value of your home. Again, those can be utilized to make improvements on your home or to potentially pay down high interest debt or high interest credit cards. I'm going to go through our financial wellness solutions. So if this is your first time kind of getting to know the credit union, please keep these options in mind. Most everything that we're going to cover here are complementary services for our members. The first is our flagship financial group. So if you want to work with somebody one-on-one to plan for your future, investments, retirement, long-term care planning, all of those facets of investing, be sure to consider us. They can work with you for a complimentary portfolio review and take a look to make sure that you're on the right track, and then hopefully work with you in the future to make sure that you are doing what's best for your future. High-level overview of our financial solutions. I'm going to skip this slide because we're going to go on and discuss these in a little bit more detail. We talked about emergency funds. We can help you set that up. Most experts say before you even turn to any debt obligations that you have as far as making extra payments, make sure you have at least $1,000 in your emergency fund. And then once you pay off some of your debt, turn around and start planning to have 3 to 6 months of your monthly income set aside. You never know when that rainy day might come. And as part of our financial wellness commitment to our members, we want to help make that a reality. Pertaining to financial wellness and credit monitoring, once you set up that online banking that we talked about earlier, you have the ability to get your credit score and see where you stand at all times. The best way to do that is to click on the left-hand side whenever you log in under financial wellness, click on credit score and report. It's going to ask you a few questions to verify your identity. But once you do that, once a month, your credit score will update. And I want to make this extremely clear. This is not a hard pull on your credit. It's considered a soft pull. So you'll never be dinged, so to speak. The other cool feature about our credit monitoring is you can sign up for alerts anytime someone pulls your credit. So that helps you to prevent against bad actors out there and help you monitor who's inquiring about your credit. Lastly, as far as this feature goes, there's calculators and tips that can help you refinance, see what your credit score would do if you made additional payments, things like that. Really, really valuable tool that can help you improve your financial situation. The next thing I want to cover here, make sure I'm on pace here. Yep, is the Navigator. This is an online self-teaching tool that has modules, videos, articles, etc. And you can customize your education based on what topics interest you. Learn more about that and register at navigator.aacreditunion.org, knowing full well that we will not follow up on any of the classes you take unless you ask us to. So it's a stress-free, easy way for you to take control of your own financial future. We also have certified financial counselors that can do a wellness checkup with you. Some of our most impactful member stories come from folks who have interacted with this group. They can help you with financial assistance, bruised credit situations, or they can help you set up a spending plan. And in doing so, help keep you accountable, give you support and guidance. And they're often featured on our seminars and webinars throughout the year. So quick plug, and I know Butel will cover it later. Keep an eye out for some of our other upcoming webinars that will feature some of our certified credit union financial counselors. Their number one goal is to put you in a better situation financially than you were when you first engaged them.
And no fee.
Yes, no fee, complimentary. As you see on the screen, we've got the phone number and the email of how you can get a hold of them. I want to reiterate, copy of today's presentation is only available if you indicate it on the survey, which is going to go out to your email address here in about 10 minutes. So we're on the home stretch. Appreciate you all kind of sticking with us. We do want to highlight a few more things, but before we do so, we're ready for our next poll. And Sarah, if we want to throw this up for 30 seconds, that would be ideal.
Cool. So not a trick question, just a question. Are you a member of American Airlines Credit Union? So are you a proud member owner of American Airlines Credit Union? The answer is A, yes, B, no, C, thinking about it. And that's why we're having this first, get to know your credit union.
Yep.
Let's see how our people are responding. We see the bars moving.
I am. Are you a member of Butel?
Man, me and my family, we are taking advantage of the products and services that we get, and we don't get anything special as rates or anything like that. We get the same thing that our member owners as will get. Okay, the survey has closed itself. We have a 75% are member owners of American Airlines Credit Union. Thank you. And there's a 25%, or 25%, I should say, that are thinking about it. This is a great place to be at. Yeah, back to you.
Thank you. And for those of you that are thinking about it, appreciate your candor. We don't know who you are, so make sure you indicate on your survey if you're interested in a basic savings account. We'll reach out to you and answer any questions you might have. It's not our goal on these webinars to be high pressure salesmen or anything like that. So if you hear us passionate about our different products and services, it's only because we've used them. We know that it can change lives, and we just want to be good advocates for our members and potential members. So this question is for good design to close us out with your member benefits. So for those of you that are thinking about it, just want to recap everything that we went over today. And for those of you that are already members, we greatly appreciate it and want to make sure that we highlight here's some of the ways that a credit union is different and how you can get value out of your relationship with the credit union. Number one, as we covered, workplace convenience, bank where you work or from anywhere in the world, especially with the online platforms that we offer. We went over some of our competitive savings and loan rates, 5 to 6 times the national average on our savings, car loan rates as low as 1.9%. Low rate credit cards start at, I believe, Butel, around 7% APR, or in the 7 to 8% range, which is phenomenal compared with what's out there. And our mortgage products and other loan products are extremely competitive because that's what we do. Speaking of loans, we have extra discounts available to new members through our Welcome Aboard loan discount, direct deposit discount. If you've had loans with us in the past and you're on the call today, and you're thinking about a new auto loan, refinance, something like that, you may be eligible for our loan loyalty discount. And then last but not least, for those of you that don't get the A+ paper prime best loan rate when you first finance something with us, ask about our timely payment discount. The way this works is, let's say you get an auto loan at 10% because you don't have the best debt to income ratio or something like that. Every year, every 12 months that you make on-time payments, we will automatically lower your rate by 2%. So name another credit union or even especially another bank that'll do that. We do have a floor of how low we can go, but we want to reward our members for doing right by us. To close things out, as far as our member owner benefits, we went over some of our financial wellness solutions, such as complimentary credit scores on our online banking, credit monitoring through that as well. We have our certified financial counselors that can help you with a financial wellness checkup. We have a flagship financial group that can help you with financial plans and a number of other financial tools, calculators, and resources available online or in person. So, take a deep breath. I'm going to take a little break here and let Butel bring us home a little bit on some public service announcements before we jump into any final questions at the end of today's conversation.
Thank you, Jack. Thanks. Jack, just to make a small correction, I believe you mentioned something with the credit cards of 7% or something. With all the different changes in the rate recently on the Fed and everything else, it's 8.5%, our lowest score.
Thank you.
Rate up to 15.74. So even though it sounds 15.74 high, it's lower than a lot of credit cards out there. So when you look at your wallet, make sure to give us the chance, like this next slide is showing here. Let us be your first. Let us be your first taking care of you. Let us help you make certain that you're earning something back in your savings. Let us make sure you're saving money in your loans. Let us make certain that the credit card you have in your wallet, as I mentioned, it's really worth it. You know, sometimes we pay fees because we get perks in certain things that we may not get in others, but you know, you may want to check on that. Mortgages, again, let us be the first. Let us check for you. And like we have mentioned, our fees are either at times none or very minimal when you compare it to other institutions itself. So I want to make sure that you're aware that let us be the first to check that on you itself. We're going to be moving to the next slide over here. And this is for that, believe it was 25% that we're not members yet of the credit union. We want to make certain that while many of our programs don't require you to be a member owner, all our loans and savings products require a basic membership with us, American Airlines Credit Union. So if nothing else, consider opening a shared savings account. It's the umbrella account, then you can have all our products and services. You can enjoy our benefits of being a credit union member owner. So if you pull your phone, like Jack mentioned before, for the online banking, and you put it in camera mode and you scan this QR code here, it's going to take you to our aacreditunion.org opening an account screen. And if you enter the promo code BD, B as in boy, D as in David, 4412, we will credit your initial deposit with $6. So that's for starters. Like Jack mentioned, plus once a member, you're always a member. So you can go and work for the city, you can leave the air transportation industry, and you still be a credit union member owner of the American Airlines Credit Union. You can join online, like it shows here, aacreditunion.org. You can call the 800 number, or you can go online as well. For anything else that you may need, feel free to contact your local branch, call our 800 number, or you can always reach us at weworkforyou@aacreditunion.org. That being said,
did you want to discuss the credit card transfer offer and the auto loans real quick?
sure, we want to go into the PSA? Sure, we can do that, certainly. So before we go into the next slide, we want to make sure you're aware of, and to wrap it up and bring it back all full circle, first, our auto rates are one of the better ones out there, either for first-time auto borrower or for refinancing your vehicle with us from another lender or another institution. Our rates are as low as 1.90 annual percentage rate. Plus, if you do a first-time auto borrower or you refinance your auto from another lender, you can have deferred payments for up to 90 days. So that's a good option. Number two, I'm talking about the credit card. If you were to open a new platinum low rate credit card, you will be able to enjoy a 0% intro rate on balance transfer for 6 billing cycles. Plus great low rates, as mentioned before, within the rates. So transfer your high interest credit card balances from another lender to your credit union card itself.
Yeah.
So that being said, I believe we can move to the next slide.
And Sarah, I'm going to skip the polling question for sake of time and let Butel just jump right into our final offer here. So let me cue it up for you real quick, Butel. For those of you that are already members, Butel's got a really nice incentive for you.
So again, I get those 75% that we're already member owners. We appreciate it. But remember, you are forgetting to give the gift of membership to your family members or those living with you, like Jack said, roommates or people that are living in the house with you itself. So for every account that you refer as a member owner and that account is open, you'll earn $25, and that'll be up to $250 a year. So basically, when you decide to open your accounts for your 3 kids that you have, you will get, once those accounts are open, you'll get $25 for each account that is open. Plus, again, you're giving the gift of membership and planning for their financial security itself.
Yeah,
Again,
so let them experience the credit union for the first time, to keep on theme, right, Butel?
let us be the first, correct. Let us be the first one when that baby's born that you get that number. And like Jack said, we don't want to sound pushy. We don't want to sound salesy. We're not doing that. It's the passion that we carry because we believe on this credit union itself and their product. So again, you can make $250. Now, that being said, I want to make sure, and this is a good hint for you or tip, make sure that you're available on the week of August 15th through the 20th. Why? Because that's Aviation Celebration Week. And what does that mean? So the credit union is having festivities, and during the entire week, you'll have a chance to be a lucky winner of 3 lucky winners to win $1,000. And you're wondering, so how do I jump and do this? I'm going to join now and be part of this. So very simple. Closer to or right at August 15th, which is a Monday, the website will be available for you to register to be one of the possible winners of the three $1,000 itself. So on the 15th, as soon as you wake up, you want to go to aacreditunion.org/events, and you'll be able to register yourself if you're already a member owner itself, or if not, you should be able to register as well based on the rules and regulations that you can read there on it. Also, a reminder. Yes.
Real quick, they can actually learn about the event itself now, just can't register till the 15th. So check it out, y'all. Really, really excited about this. Bring your family into the branches. They'll get $25. You'll get $25. Be entered in to win $1,000. There'll be gifts. There'll be refreshments. You name it. Every branch in the organization is going to be participating all week. Please check it out.
Yes, and like Jack said, on the Saturday, the 20th, branches are usually open from 9 o'clock in the morning to 1 p.m. And they're going to have a bit of a bigger celebration on the Saturdays because most people are off. They are able to bring their families. They're able to enjoy. They're able to open their accounts and everything else. And you still have the chance to sign up for the $1,000 itself. Something what we want to remind you again is the webinars. Go into our website, aacreditunion.org events, and we already have loaded the August ones there. So see what we have, see what interests you, sign up, and remember, get there, join us, register for future webinars for the Aviation Celebration Week. Jack, we are over by 3 minutes. This usually happens, but we have such a great audience that they still hanging the majority there. I'm gonna jump in one question that came up here, and it's about our beautiful Fort Lauderdale area itself. They're asking, how come when are we planning to have ATMs at the Fort Lauderdale airport itself?
Yeah, and I answered it. We've got one at our branch just outside the airport. No immediate plans to put any ATMs in the airport. For those of you that are wondering about your cash access, we are evaluating that on an enterprise standpoint. So may have some announcements soon, but the easiest way to find the convenient locations near you is to use that locator feature in the app or on our website.
Not only that, our branch in Fort Lauderdale at the Shelter is right by the employee parking.
Perfect.
Fort Lauderdale. So that's why it's the convenience there itself. Thank you for that itself, Jack, for answering that question. And we wanted to make sure that Fort Lauderdale was also getting some love, just like Utah did itself. So great time zones to be working with.
And I didn't see any other questions. I'll just say, if you have questions, go ahead and indicate it on the survey, and Butel, I'll let you bring us home and close us out.
Thank you, Jack. Yes. Once we close, you're going to get the survey. Feel free to put as many questions there. A subject matter expert will return your call or reach out to you next week. Thank you for joining us. Make sure that you check out our webinar events coming up. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and now under the YouTube channel. So you can go in there and watch Jack and I. And in the backside, we have Sarah that is also helping with all the different Q&A itself. So from my part to yours, stay safe, stay healthy, do what you got to do, just do it right. Jack, back to you.
Awesome. Yeah, I just want to reiterate, thank you all for taking the time to join today. And hopefully today you learned a little bit more about the credit union for the first time. And hopefully for those of you that do not have an account with us or considering, that we can help you achieve some of your financial firsts as you go through life's journey. Like Butel said, stay healthy, happy out there, and I will see you on the next one.
Thank you again, guys. Have a great one.